I know that this topic is going to be a little bit controversial because people really love pull requests. I also love pull requests, but with the time I realized a couple of things that we're going to discuss in this video. So first of all, let me clarify. Pull requests are fantastic, are an amazing tool, especially in the open source world, because they allow for asynchronous communication between contributors and maintainers. But do we need this asynchronous communication in our company? The problem I have with pull requests is that pull requests generally take lots of time. They force you to have a context switch, and generally the context switch is just detrimental for what you have to do for your productivity. And most of the time, pull requests, the comments are sometimes focusing on the wrong aspects, or maybe misinterpreted and affect the author in a bad way, or affect his mood. So I'm not against pull requests in general, but I think in work environment most of the time they are an overkill and probably they slow down the process. In addition, if you reflect about the Agile Manifesto, pull requests are a bit against the Agile Manifesto. If we remember, the first value of the Agile Manifesto is that individuals and interaction over process and tools. And pull requests are a process and are also a tool that we use. So there is a process around pull request. And yeah, I don't know if you see my point, but I think they're adding more complexity instead of simplifying things. So again, I'm not completely against pull requests in the work environment. There are many situations where pull requests make a lot of sense, especially if you consider InnerSource. So if your company adopted something like InnerSource, pull requests are essential, right, for communicating cross teams and to have this cross-team communication. By the way, if you want to know more about InnerSource, I recently made a video. You can find the link up here. So let's continue our conversation about pull requests. So as I said, pull requests have some values. It's just that sometimes they can be a bottleneck for the continuous integration, and they can also slow down the process and cause context switch for developers. So, but let's also analyze what are the benefits that pull requests have. So there are a couple of advantages that I found in the adoption of pull requests, and one is the knowledge sharing, and the other one is the feedback that the contributor can have from opening a pull request. So let's see now how we can replace the pull request but still keep and preserve the advantages that pull requests come with. So there are two things that I think can help in this situation. One is pair programming, and the other one is code reviews. So let's start with pair programming. Pair programming, I think, can provide even more advantages especially from the side of knowledge sharing, because when you are pair programming, you are constantly communicating with other developers that not only know how you think about the code, but they also get to know a bit more about you, which is always a good thing in a work environment. So it simplifies a work relationship and so on and so forth. The other advantage of pair programming is also that you get constant feedback from other developers, and with this we are already getting both the advantages of pull request. But there are a few other things that we need to consider, especially when you work in a larger team. And most of the time when you pair with one developer from the team, not with all of them. So knowledge sharing is limited to the pairs that you are forming, and that's why the second thing that can help us is code review. Before we start with the code review, we should probably describe what is the code review. I noticed that many people have this misconception that a PR is a code review. A PR is a PR. Is not necessarily a code review. And one thing I don't like about the PR is that the focus moves from the code to the contributor, and generally comments are perceived as direct comments to the contributor and not comments to the code and to the architecture. So the thing becomes a bit more personal. So then what is a code review? As I said, a code review is not a pull request review, and is not a performance review for the engineer. So to do a code review, you need to book a couple of hours, invite your team, grab coffee, cookies, donuts, whatever you want, open one repo, look through the repo, discuss about coding conventions, code quality, architecture, whatever comes to mind. take notes, create issues against the repo, and then you can work on these issues when you have time, or you can get them prioritized along with your product owner. So this is very important that you do this. So the advantage of doing code reviews is that you have your entire team and you form a collective opinion about best practices, architecture, and also about the directions of the project and about the specific repo. So this is invaluable, because most of the time, probably you know, and you already have a number of examples in mind, every single time you open a PR, sometimes you can end up with a PR with long comments and endless discussions that most of the time are not captured in tickets and don't contribute to improve the situation, probably just create more damage. So I believe that pull requests in most cases can be completely replaced by pair programming and code reviews, and also because pair programming and code reviews, they are way more effective and most of the time are also more efficient with regards to providing feedback and building a good culture in your company. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye!